They called it the Morgan House. A towering relic of the 1800s, it sat at the edge of a forgotten road in a small rural town. Its blackened windows looked like hollow eyes, and its roof, warped with age, slanted like a sneer. The locals spoke of it with lowered voices, warning anyone foolish enough to step inside that the house did not forgive intruders. No one survives the night, they said, as if it were a curse passed down through generations. For most, that warning was enough. But for Alex Turner, it was an invitation. A young investigator chasing the stories of America's most haunted places, Alex was drawn to the house like a moth to flame. He thought the legends were exaggerated old wives' tales, crafted to keep children from wandering too far into the woods. The night he arrived, the air felt heavier than it should have. Clouds swallowed the moon, plunging the house into unnatural shadow. The front gate stood crooked, creaking on rusted hinges as if it had been waiting for him. He paused at the threshold, his flashlight beam quivering slightly. The silence pressed against him, thick and suffocating. Even the crickets refused to sing. As he stepped inside, the wooden floor groaned under his weight, sending echoes through the cavernous halls. He smiled nervously, recording into his camera, Morgan House, October 12th. Let's see if you live up to your reputation. From the second the door shut behind him, the house seemed to exhale. The first thing Alex noticed was the smell. Damp wood, mildew, and something faintly metallic like rust or blood. His flashlight carved a path through the thick dust, revealing furniture shrouded in yellowed sheets, portraits with eyes scratched out, and wallpaper peeling like dead skin. The silence was oppressive. Every creak of the floor beneath his boots sounded like a gunshot. He told himself it was only the house settling, the natural decay of an old building. Still, his grip on the flashlight tightened. He set up his camera in the grand foyer, its red recording light glowing faintly in the dark. No signs of paranormal activity yet, he whispered, his voice wavering. But even as he said it, he felt the distinct sensation of being watched. Not from one direction, everywhere. Up the staircase, he swore he saw movement. A fleeting shadow, gliding just beyond the edge of his light. His pulse quickened. He steadied the camera and whispered, "Could be my imagination, but I think I'm not alone." He pressed deeper into the house, exploring the long hallway lined with closed doors. Each knob was cold to the touch, colder than the air around him. He tried the first door. Locked. The second. Locked. But the third creaked open on its own, as if inviting him in. The room inside was empty, except for a rocking chair. It moved gently, back and forth, though no wind touched it. And then he heard it, a whisper. Soft. Low. Directly behind him. Alex spun around, his flashlight beam slicing across the empty hallway. Nothing. Just dust swirling in the air. His breath came shallow, fogging in the cold that had suddenly settled over the room. He forced a laugh into the recorder, trying to mask the tremor in his voice. Classic haunted house tricks. Whispers, cold spots, it's all textbook. But the rocking chair had stopped. Completely still, as though it had never moved. The hall stretched longer now, impossibly so. What had been a dozen doors seemed to multiply into dozens more, fading into darkness. His camera picked up faint static, the red light blinking erratically. Alex frowned, tapping the lens. That's when he realized the front door he'd entered through was gone. Behind him now stood another endless stretch of hallway. Panic bubbled in his chest. He walked quickly, then faster, the soles of his boots thudding on the warped floor. Each door looked the same, each portrait hanging crooked, each section of wallpaper identical to the last. He was running, but the house swallowed every step, keeping him trapped inside its twisting veins. Finally, he stopped, chest heaving, sweat cold on his skin. In the suffocating silence, a grandfather clock tolled once, twice, though he saw no clock anywhere. He turned slowly. At the far end of the hallway stood a figure. Tall. Motionless. Its face lost in shadow. And as the tolling ended, the lights of his camera cut out, leaving Alex in complete darkness. Alex's blood turned to ice. The whisper curled through the room, intimate and mocking. Alex. 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 His name stretched into something inhuman, a chorus of voices layered over one another. He forced himself to raise the flashlight toward the corner. The beam caught the outline of a figure crouched low, its limbs bent wrong, its head tilting at an unnatural angle. Its face was not a face at all, just shifting shadows, swallowing the light instead of reflecting it. Alex stumbled back, his body colliding with the wall. The figure moved. Not walking, sliding, as if the floor carried it closer. His flashlight sputtered, then died completely. Darkness claimed the room, and in it, Alex's scream was muffled, like the walls absorbed it. His camera, still faintly recording, caught only static and fragments of sound, the scrape of nails, the rush of heavy breathing, and then silence. Hours later, though time had no meaning there, the camera blinked out, abandoned on the dusty floor. By morning, the house stood silent once more. When locals passed by, they shook their heads knowingly. Another curious soul gone. Another night claimed. The Morgan house waited patiently, its windows dark, its halls hungry. It didn't need to hunt, it only needed to wait. Because every so often, someone always came. And no one ever survived the night.